Thank you for tuning in to the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like the material. If a 6-year-old child came to you and said they were being abused, what would you do? What would be the first thing, your first point of action? Well, I think that anyone in their right mind would call the police first, because they're trained to professionally investigate such accusations, whether true or not, because ultimately we're concerned about the welfare of a child. Recently in Illinois, 2 Jehovah Witness elders were found guilty of covering up child abuse, failing to report to the authorities a 6-year-old girl that was being sexually abused by her father. And because the 2 elders did not report to the authorities, to the police, what had happened to the 6-year-old, she went on to be abused for an additional 12 years of her life until she turned 18, and then one of the elders went with her to the police. Can you imagine all the suffering of the little sister, the little Jehovah Witness that was in the congregation, and when she appealed to the elders for help, the shepherds, they did not follow through. They let her down. Evidently, the elders thought that they could pray away what was happening. They thought that they could readjust the father to make him stop abusing his daughter, to no avail. Well, I could have told them that. I could have told them that that monster should have went to jail and locked up for life. See, Jehovah's Witnesses believe that the scriptures can fix any and everything, but they're wrong, and the world is starting to take notice. But it's sad that it's coming at the expenses of these small kids that are being abused. In fact, we have another case, Deborah Hines here in New York. She was abused at the Jehovah Witness headquarters, and that case is ongoing, and I would advise you to go back on Watching the World and check out the various videos that we release showing the details of this sick and demonic case. I use that word demonic because Jehovah Witnesses like to use that word when they're talking about bad. It's kind of like what they teach. We want to get on common ground with them, so you have to use their language. But anyway, after the poor child in Illinois suffered for 12 years, would you believe that after the elders were brought up on charges and found guilty, they only received mere hours of community service? That's it. The prosecuting attorney was asking for 12 days in jail, a day for a year, for each year that she suffered. However, the judge only gave them a slap on the wrist. Wait a minute. Did I tell you what behooved me? Oh, what behooved me is that Colin Scott, one of the elders, was allowed to serve his community service in the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses. What a low-down, dirty shame. Who does that? Who allowed this to happen? Notice the work register and that it had to be reported by Armando, who was the site supervisor. But let's go through the chart. Let's look at the receipts. At Watching the World, we like to present the receipts whenever we make claims. So we see on April the 3rd, an hour and a half Christian meeting. And then on the 5th, he did an hour of Christian ministry. I mean, I can't speak for the victim, but this seems like mockery that these elders are able to submit their community service by going to the meetings and out in field service. These are the same places that they made bad decisions in the first place. In fact, this is why they make such decisions. Michael Pincava, one of the elders that was convicted, he said he called the headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses and asked these individuals in New York, should they call the police? And what did they say? They said, no, you can handle this in-house. So basically, just sweep it under the rug. Recently, Jehovah's Witnesses have opened up their little carts, their little concession stands. You might see them outside of Walmart. New York City, you see them in the subway stations and so forth. When you see them, spread the word and ask, are they aware of what happened with Michael Pincava and Colin Scott, and that these two elders were found guilty of not reporting child abuse? And if you can, without being rude or obnoxious, take a video of the event and watch how fast they move those carts and they get out of Dodge or they break away. See, Jehovah's Witnesses love asking questions. They like to be in the teaching seat. But when you start asking those hard questions, they often flee. And oh yeah, make sure you ask about the two-witness rule, because in most cases when a child is abused, there's only the child and their abuser present. And that's why the police, the authorities, take a different measure, and these crimes are thoroughly investigated. So you have to ask Jehovah's Witnesses when you see them at the cart or when they knock on your door, hey, bub, what's this I hear about the two-witness rule? What do you think about that? Yeah, ask the Jehovah's Witnesses, why has Jehovah presented new light about the generations, but he has not given any new light about the child abuse, the two-witness rule? Therefore, all the children are suffering at the hand of their abusers. And by the way, when they tell you to go see jw.org, tell them no, but I have been on Watching the World, and there's so many cases that you guys should go and review in regards to child abuse and shunning. Yeah, Jehovah's Witnesses are committing suicide because they're being shunned. So we have our work cut out for us, and I need the subscribers of Watching the World to go out this month and at least do 1 hour, commit to 1 hour of cart witnessing. We want to go out to the carts and tell the witnesses about what's happening in the world, because often they're living in a bubble and they don't get to hear about the cases and what's going on in the world around them, and all of the calamities that have befallen Jehovah's Witnesses, and not from Satan, but from misconduct and misguidance from the 8 leaders of Watchtower the Great. Thank you for tuning in to the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like the material.